You shouldn't go home. You're a sick woman.
I don't feel sick. I just feel tired.
Mrs. Keeling, you had a heart attack.
I had a hiccup.
You need to rest.
Look, I've rested enough.
We will not accept responsibility for anything that happens to you.
Look, I don't expect you to. It's my life, and I'll do what I please.
I'll talk to the lady on there. I was home to see her afterwards.
Here we are. This way. Would you mind putting the suitcase down there?
Right, Charlotte.
Thank you.
I'll just pop these on the table, shall I, Mum?
Yes, that'll be fine. Would you like a cup of tea? I brought some biscuits, actually. I like to make my own, but that'll be for tomorrow.
No, thanks. Nothing else I can do?
No, thank you. I'll be fine now. You've done enough already. There we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mum.
Can you find your way out?
Yes, certainly, Mum.
Mother! What in heaven's name's going on?
Hello, Nancy.
I've just spoken to Dr. Morris. He says you've discharged yourself.
No, I escaped down a rope of sheets.
Honestly, Mother, you can't leave hospital without telling us.
Well, why not?
You're a sick woman.
But I feel fine.
Not according to Dr. Morris. Look, please, Mother, go back.
Look, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to carry me out of here, feet first.
Mother, you've reached an age and a state of health that demands care. Now, if you won't return to hospital, you've no choice but to move in with us.
Nonsense, I'm staying here.
Have some consideration for others. I worry about you. I can't come over here every day just to see if you're alive.
Would you like some lunch?
George and I love you. I'm not talking about staying with us forever. Just for a few weeks till you get your strength. I won't be able to sleep at night knowing you're alone. It's my birthday at the weekend. George thought we might have a party. Mother, please, won't you come and stay with us? I've asked Noel down. He is anxious to see you. Perhaps we'll even hear from Olivia. Mother, please. It's doctor's orders, not only mine. Do it for me.
All right. And thank you for looking after the house while I was away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nancy. Happy birthday to you.
Did you make a wish?
Oh, no, I forgot.
I did. It's not your birthday, stupid.
Melanie.
I wish you'd turn into a big fat pig.
Rupert.
They're only teasing, Grandmama.
Your great-grandmother has come a long way to be with us tonight, Melanie. Show her what a nice young lady you are.
I hear you discharged yourself from hospital, Mrs. Keeling, just like that.
Just like that.
Did you pull out lots of tubes and things?
Oh, no. Is that what Noel told you?
I thought you'd be impressed, Ma.
Melanie, tell me, did you like the new riding habit I had made for you?
Yes, great-grandma.
And it fits you well?
Yes, thank you.
You do spoil her, Grandmama.
Noel tells me that your father was Lawrence Stern, the painter.
Oh, yes.
I think my grandfather had one of his paintings somewhere.
Really?
Rupert, did you enjoy the treasure island I sent on? It was your granddaddy's copy, you know, when he was a boy.
Yes, I got it, thanks.
I think we've got it somewhere in the country.
Oh. I met your grandfather when he first entered the House of Lords, my dear. He was a charming man, a bit old-fashioned in his tastes. I can't believe he approves of your dressing like that. Oh, don't worry. I think it's delightful, really. I do so like your new girlfriend, Noel. She's much nicer than the last one. I so approve of young people these days, for the most part.
Cake, Grandmama. Mother baked it herself, one of Sophie's recipes. I tried to stop her, but she insisted.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good to be back in the kitchen again.
No, thank you. Your mother's pastries were always too French for me, my dear. I wish I'd known my daughter-in-law would be here, Nancy. Penelope and I haven't seen each other since forever.
No, darling, not quite forever.
Your coming was such a surprise, Grandmama. Why didn't you telephone me and tell you were coming?
It's your birthday. I wanted it to be a surprise. I made Noel promise not to tell. It's a shame about your being so ill, Penelope. For a time there, I'd thought we'd lost you.
Oh, darling, isn't that serious?
It was kind of Nancy and George to take you under their wing, wasn't it?
We tried to keep her off her feet, but she won't listen.
Given your condition, I would have thought the best thing would be for you to take your bed permanently.
Oh, no, darling, I'm feeling fine, thank you. In fact, I was telling Nancy, I think that my constitution is almost as tough as yours. Coffee, everybody?
I'll do that.
Insist.
Did you see in the Times today one of your grandfather's paintings is up for sale?
Really? Does Ma know?
Yes. Though I can't imagine they'll get much for it. Lawrence Stern's been out of vogue for years.
Whenever one of his paintings comes on the market nowadays, it's greeted with rounds of critical sneers and sells for tuppence. It's quite embarrassing.
No, I don't like you talking about Grandfather's work like that. I remember him. You never knew him.
Does your mother have much of his work?
Yeah, 2 unfinished panels. Truly hideous. Oops. Sorry, Nancy.
And his last one, The Shell Seekers. It's lovely.
Well, it's not bad. It is a bit old-fashioned, you must admit. But she only keeps it because it's of her and Sophie.
Her mother. She died in Cornwall during the war.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. Ma never quite got over that.
We used to spend the summer in Cornwall. It's lovely there.
Yes. Mother used to spend the summer there too when she was young. And she lived there during the war. I was born there.
Yes, Ma's forever talking about it. In fact, she told me this evening she means to go back.
There you are.
Would you like a hand?
Oh, no, thank you. No, I rather enjoy straightening up after a big party. Sort of puts life in order. Are you going to drive back tonight?
Yes, Dolly insists. Oh, what a difficult woman. How do you put up with her?
Well, she's my mother-in-law. One learns.
What was he like, your husband?
Ambrose? Very charming, very handsome. Dolly absolutely adored him. I don't think she's ever forgiven me for taking him away. That was a little bit like Ambrose, actually. I mean, he could charm you into anything. Nancy takes after Dolly. Family first. She knows her own mind. I think it's Olivia, really, who takes after me. Be back in a minute.
You refuse to be concerned, don't you? I mean, consider the possibilities.
What possibilities?
She can barely manage the expenses at the house now. What if something else were to happen to her?
She could live to be 90.
And where does that leave George and me? I mean, we've got this house to keep up, 2 children to put through school, and now an invalid mother to take care of without any help from Olivia.
Look,
from
if you choose to live in this barn of a house and wheel your children off to expensive schools, wearing it...
I'm trying to do my best for them. You have no consideration for...
Yes, I will. Hello, Olivia. Yes, well, Nancy did write to you when it first... Well, how could we? You've no phone. No, she's discharged herself. She's staying here. Well, the doctors... Yes, all right.
Oh, thank you. Hello? Olivia? Oh, it's so good to hear your voice.
She reversed the charges, of course.
No, I'm fine now, really. There's no need to come.
Best not make it long, Penelope. Calls from that part of the world can be very expensive.
No, please, don't come. No, I'm really fine now. I just need some quiet. Well, it's difficult to get in a hospital, or anywhere for that matter. Yes?
Thank you for the cake. It was lovely.
Not at all.
I'm sorry about this evening. Dolly was as much of a surprise to me as she was to you.
Well, it's over.
How's Olivia? Basking on the beach, I suppose.
She wants me to visit.
Naturally, you said no. You're not well enough to travel.
I'm going, Nancy.
Mother, no. I want you here.
I overheard your argument with Noel. I'm not an invalid. I'm 63. And I have survived, if I'm to believe that idiot doctor, a heart attack. Yes, but I can still touch, see, hear, smell. I can look after myself and discharge myself from the hospital, and if I so desire, I can go and visit Olivia. I'm searching for something, my darling. I don't know what it is, but I do know that it isn't here. I appreciate your concern, but I'll be fine. Yes, it was lovely.
You look wonderful,
Oh,
too.
I look terrible, but I look better than I did before. I'm just not at my best.
There's someone I want you to meet.
Uh-huh.
Mama, this is Cosmo.
How do you do, Mrs. Keeling?
Hello.
Penelope.
Penelope. Welcome to Ibiza.
Oh, thank you.
All those years, I was absolutely chained to London. I couldn't imagine living like this. But there is quite a little British community here. You'll meet them all. Cosmo's been here, what, 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
Fell in love with the place.
First sight. Here we are.
Cosmo rents the house from a man in town.
Yes, all the conveniences, but the plumbing's a bit erratic, so just keep flushing.
He grows his own vegetables.
And I've got a vineyard, animals.
He's an absolute wonder.
Oh, you never told me that.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it's lovely. It's years since I've seen the sea.
Antonia!
Hello!
My daughter. She simply lives in the water. I think she has gills. Have some more wine.
Oh, yes, please. It's delicious.
He makes it himself.
Really?
God makes it. I merely supervise.
Excuse me.
Hold on, though. There we are.
It's a lovely dress.
Thank you. Rose Pilkington brought it back from Morocco. I hope it's not too special.
This is a special occasion. May I?
Oh, of course.
Would you care for one?
No, thank you.
Cosmo used to be a 50 cigarette a day man.
Mm-hmm. I worked in a London bank for over 20 years. And one day the old heart said, enough. And I came here to recover. Brought Antonia with me. And we've simply never left.
I used to wonder he didn't get bored.
Oh, I've got 1,000 things to do. The boat, the house, the vineyard, shelves full of books, 6 goats, 3 dozen chickens, minus 1. Heart attack was the best thing that ever happened to me. No. No, second best.
I thought he was a dreary sailor when I first met him. He was running his boat, showing pale British tourists around the island. Then he showed me round the island, and I changed my view entirely. Hola, señora. ¿Cuánto valen los melones? Right, yes. Of course, he's a bit older than I am, but Lawrence was older than Sophie. You've always said they were happy.
Oh, 30 years older.
Yes, I know. Must have been a remarkable marriage.
Oh, it was. You're happy too, then?
Oh, yes, Mama. I do miss London sometimes. I miss my work, but we can't have everything, can we?
Look at those.
Now, would you like me to buy you one?
Oh, I'd love one just like that.
Buenos días. ¿Todo bien? Sí, gracias.
You know, I love the sound of bells. I was never very religious, but as the years go on, I do love the bells.
Come on, they're waiting for us at the dock.
All right.
There we go.
All right, I'll wait for you in the boathouse.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, you look as if you've had a good time.
Oh, yes. I could have stayed all afternoon. Look what I made.
Oh, I used to collect shells like that when I was a child. Our souls abandoned homes, my mother used to call them. If only we could shrink in size like Alice and slip back into them again.
I know what you mean. I feel as if I were born in those waves. I used to dream I had a fish's tail sometimes. Isn't that silly?
No, not a bit. I longed for one. Mermaids must feel so free, I always thought. You know, like flying underwater. That's what the sea reminds me of. Some special sort of happiness. My parents had it. And, looking at Cosmo and Olivia, I think of them. She's lovely.
I worry about her, though.
Well, all good parents worry about their children.
So do the bad ones.
Well, you've managed to raise her very well.
Oh, I spoil her. She forgives my faults, you see, whereas my ex-wife couldn't. It's been very difficult for Antonia, the parents being apart. She only sees her mother once a year.
Yes, well, divorce is very hard on everyone.
That's why I'm so glad that Olivia's here with us. Antonia needs a woman's influence.
Uh-huh.
Well, so do I, of course. And I'm glad you're here, too.
Oh, so am I. Oh, you know, it wasn't until I felt this lovely warm sand between my toes that it all came back to me. I love the sea.
Stay, then.
Oh, I can't. I'm absolutely determined this year to make my garden into something special. I only hope I can still do the work.
Well, why not hire someone?
Well, I'm not sure that I could manage the expense.
Olivia says you were always splendid at that. Bringing up 3 children almost single-handed, taking in boarders, soup always simmering in the kitchen, constant visitors.
It wasn't all like that.
Well, that's what she remembers. You know how little girls always dream of fairy tale princes whacking their way through the thorns to rescue them? Little boys dream, too. But they're brave sailors, you see. They dream of the siren who will someday trap them and tame them. Well, this particular sailor has been caught in your daughter's net. And you know something? I rather like it.
Dad?
Hello?
Emily's got plenty of milk today.
Good. See if you can get her to feed those 2 little ones, eh?
Well, the big one's getting more.
I'll come and give you a hand when I've got enough lemons.
What is it, my darling? What's wrong?
Yeah, they don't seem to like it much, though.
Playing too well. Not no problem. Next time I'm going into Central Valley, I'll see if I can get something.
They want you for managing editor. And Cosmo won't leave the island.
Never.
Does he know about this? Don't you think you should...
Mama, this is the first time in my life I haven't been working. I think some part of me needs to work.
I thought that you were happy here.
Yes, but not complete.
You may not be complete without him.
I need to prove to myself that I can handle this job. I've worked so hard for it all these years.
Sounds as if you've made your decision.
I want you to talk me out of it.
Oh, no, my darling, I can't do that. I want the best for my children, yes.
Love isn't always the best, though, is it? Hmm? You loved Daddy. Look how that turned out. You loved your children, and look at us now. Nancy trapped in that miserable marriage. Noel climbing social ladders without a thought for anyone. Mama, if I turn this down, I may grow to resent Cosmo.
And if you love him and leave, you may have nothing but regrets. You ask my permission to be happy. You have it. You ask my advice. I have none to give. You must talk to Cosmo. Not to me.
Are you all right?
Oh, yes, I'm just a bit tired.
Not far to go, Mama.
Shall we have some ice cream?
Yes. Oh, none for me, thanks.
All right, come on, you.
Why don't we just sit down over here for a few minutes?
Listen, Mama, we could go back if you want to.
Oh, of course not. Come along, sit down. Phew. They were Sophie's. Oh, Lawrence's gift to her instead of an engagement ring. I've been meaning for you to have them. I try to think what my mother would have done.
Mama, I can't.
Take them and know that whatever you decide, no matter how difficult it is, it'll be the right thing. Oh, Mama.
If I asked you to marry me, would you stay then?
Darling, please understand.
I can't continue without you.
No, don't say that. It's not forever. I'll be back for weekends and holidays.
I need you here.
Cosmo, please, darling. Don't make it so difficult.
That's my job.
Mr. Plackett.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Keeling.
Hello.
I hear you've been ill.
Oh, I'm very much better, thank you. I'm looking for a gardener.
Mr. Plackett.
Yeah, be right with you, dotty old bird.
I need someone part-time, really, on a regular basis.
Oh, what sort of work?
Oh, everything. Weeding, replanting, clearing out, all that sort of thing.
Talk to him, then. Janus! Janus Muirfield.
Oh, Penelope Keeling.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Mr. Plackett!
Coming.
Is it good?
Yes, like home.
And where is home?
Edinburgh.
Oh. How did you end up down here?
I was in the university up there.
Oh, what were you studying?
I was going to be a lawyer. Didn't like it. Prefer this.
But why here, so far from home? Oh, there's someone here. Hello, Nancy. How nice to see you.
Hello, Mother. You look well.
Well, Editha worked wonders. Everyone's envious. How are the children?
Oh, fine.
And George? What is it?
Have you seen this?
Oh, my goodness. £200,000. I can't believe it.
Suddenly everyone likes them. You've got a fortune hanging in your house, Mother, and we didn't know.
Oh, dear, yes. Well, that's very nice, isn't it?
George thinks you ought to sell. I mean, if you don't, he says they must be insured. And that costs a fortune. You can't afford it. So George thinks it was...
But surely I must have a say in this.
Well, yes, of course. But the point is, they're much too valuable anymore to keep. So George thought that you might like
to take... the paintings are mine. I must decide what I'm going to do with them.
I'm off then. I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you, Danis.
Who's that?
My new gardener.
How can you afford him, Mother? Really? Now, please, you've got to listen to reason.
Nancy, I'd rather not discuss this just now.
Well, just sell the panels, then. You can keep the shell seekers.
6 weeks ago, you couldn't have cared less what happened to them.
But things have changed, Mother. You're a wealthy woman now, on canvas. All right, if you sell the paintings, you can have a gardener, a housekeeper, a nurse, but you can't do anything until you've sold the paintings.
£200,000 is more than enough for a gardener, a
Yes, and the
housekeeper.
money you give away when you're alive is worth twice what you give away dead.
Meaning I should give it to you?
Better us than the government, yes.
And what would you do with it?
Well, the children's school fees are due. Melanie needs new clothes, and George's club fees are late. And
George put you up to this, didn't he? Well, I'm not paying George's club fees, and I'm not sending your children to those expensive boarding schools. If you'd been a little less ambitious for yourselves and spent a little more time teaching your children simple manners, perhaps they'd been a little more happy today.
Mother, be fair. You show more interest in your Russian garden than you do in me.
If it's money you need, go to Dolly. She's been more than generous so far. She bought you all the clothes you wanted, gave you horses, big coming-out parties, the big white wedding you said you needed. Fine. I couldn't afford those things. I tried to help you then, but you said that you didn't need my help. If you need help now...
When did you ever help me, Mother? It was always Dolly who was around for me, never you.
You can't believe that.
It's true. I thought I was unwanted until Noel was born. Then I saw you neglected him as much as you did me.
I didn't neglect you.
Olivia was the only one of us you ever really cared for.
That's simply not true.
I wanted that love, but it was never there for me. Was it? Was it?
Nancy. Nancy?
No. Yeah.
Phone on 2, Miss Keeley.
I'll call them back.
It's a young lady.
Oh, just take a number, will you?
Long distance from Ibiza. She says it's urgent.
Yes.
Mother, it's me.
Oh, I'll have to call you back, my darling.
No, wait.
It's Cosmo. He's had another heart attack. Mama. He's dead.
Oh, onion.
And what did you do then? Oh, Lord. Well, why did you tell her that? Because it's a really stupid thing to say. You have to learn to keep your mouth shut. Nancy? No.
Oh, what's happened?
Ma won't sell the paintings.
Why should she? Can't say blame her. Look what I found in the cupboard. Where did you get it?
It was grandfather's. I nicked it from Mother's when she sold the London house.
Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, I couldn't keep it, could I?
No, you cannot. Only for tonight.
Ah, right, come on, there's my driver. We better go.
Hello, Olivia. It's Noel. Call me when you get in, please.
Oh, what's this?
What?
Hole in the pocket. Perhaps something's fallen down to the lining. Some money.
I doubt it. Not in our family.
Ah, no, here we go. Piece of paper. Maybe it's a £5. Ah, no, a letter. Lawrence Stern.
Give it to me.
The house wasn't ours. If you hadn't offered, I wouldn't have any place to go. But I won't stay long.
You'll stay as long as you like. My children have been screaming at me for living alone. They'll be very pleased. And I love your company.
I never knew anyone who died before. I loved him so much.
Time passes. You come to terms. She'll sleep now. You've been very good to her, Olivia.
Oh, Mama.
No regrets, my darling. No regrets.
This time I think you're going too far, Noel.
Oh, come on, Nancy.
No.
Well, you can't expect me to do it all on my own.
Well, what are we supposed to do if we find them?
They may not exist at all, just because the letter says so. We've got to get them first, then we can decide what to do. We don't know how many there are, what their value might be. Of course, if they bring in a great deal, we'll share it with her.
I don't think it's fair.
Nor is she. To be honest, Ma, I'm worried. I mean, the papers are full of it. Elderly people living alone, horrible things happening. Well, only last week, I read of 2 fires near Cirencester in places just like this.
Well, I don't smoke. Oh, Antonia, this is my son, Noel. Antonia is staying with me for a while.
Yes, Olivia said. Oh, I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you.
Anyway, one of the fires started in the woman's attic. Too much clutter, old wiring. You really ought to clean yours out.
I don't have time. Danis is in the garden. Why don't you go and introduce yourself?
Why don't I do it myself, then? I've got the whole weekend. I promise not to throw anything away without your approval. I just don't want you going up in flames, Ma, that's all.
Hello. I'm Antonia. And I'll wager anything you're Danis Muirfield. Would you like a biscuit?
No, thanks.
It's a perfect name. For a gardener, I mean. Well, some people have names that are exactly right for who they are. Don't you agree? Charles de Gaulle, the saviour of France. Benito Mussolini. A big brute of a name. My father's name was Cosmo, man of the world. It was nice meeting you.
When I was a boy, we had a rector in our church called Mr. Paternoster.
Oh, remember Bear? Couldn't go to sleep without him. Oh, what a dreadful mess this all is. Goodness gracious. Oh, look. Well, you never were a champion speller. Thank goodness. Oh, here are your letters from Eton. My, but you were so homesick. I remember your first letter. You'd only been gone 2 days. I was so upset, I almost went and brought you back home.
Don't, Ma. It's in the past, please. There's no sense in keeping them.
No.
Go through those other boxes, see if there's anything you want. The rest we can cart away or burn. These can start a fire.
How could anyone do this? Destroy such memories. I could never burn mine. Could you yours?
I wouldn't know.
Some of these things. You'll have to drive them to the dump, I suppose.
You have to, not me. I don't drive. Here.
I had to do this with my father's things. Throw them away. It's difficult. Just tossing them out. Things that mean nothing to you. It meant a great deal to someone else. Sorry.
I want you to meet a new friend of mine. Richard, this is my daughter, Penelope.
How do you do?
Richard's training for the front. He also plays chess.
I wonder what you Americans do here for entertainment.
Who's this?
Nancy. Say hello, darling.
Hello, Nancy.
Penelope's husband is missing in action.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dodging German tanks, I imagine?
Yes, I'll be doing that myself soon. Could I take a picture of you, Nancy?
No.
Do you mind?
All right. You know, you needn't be as wary of German tanks as you should be of British cars.
I beg pardon?
I saw you last week, nearly knocked off your feet.
Hello, Mother.
Nancy, I was just looking at an old photograph of you. Remember?
No, it was such a long time ago. Olivia says her friend's daughter's living here with you.
Yes, Antonia, so you needn't worry. And Noel's here.
Yes, I know. He told me he wanted to clear out your attic. Is he upstairs?
Yes. Nancy, would you like to go back to Cornwall with me? I know it's all changed and I shan't know anybody, but I'd love to take you back. I'd love to share some memories.
I'm sorry, Mother, I can't. I can't leave the children. And I've got so many things to do around the house. And George is helpless when I'm not there. Perhaps later on, when things are slower. I'll be upstairs if you need me. Did you find them?
Oh, hello. So you decided to come after all?
Most likely she threw them away.
She never threw away anything in her life. I know, it's all up here. Look at this. She even saved your baby clothes. No, he must have sold them.
So what? What are you looking for?
Memories.
Don't lie to me, Noel.
No, it's nothing in particular.
Don't lie to me.
Show her the letter.
It's, from one of Grandfather's clients about a sketch for the Terrazzo garden. Well, he most likely made sketches of all his paintings. They'd be worth a small fortune if they still exist.
And what were you going to do with them if they did? Sneak them out behind my back?
Of course not, Ma. You've got to sell. The money you give away while you're alive is worth twice what
Yes, I know. But why? How much do you need?
Just a share of it. I mean, you've got 3 children. You could unload a certain amount. Obviously keep a bit for yourself.
And what would you do with it?
Commodity broking. Well, I need a bigger flat for that. One that I can work from. And then there are certain circles I have to break into. I'd have to entertain.
So I'm expected to sell my paintings for your advancement?
Ma.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I could be talking to your father instead of you.
Please?
You don't give a hoot about me, do you? About my house, my father's paintings. They're all that I have left of him, Noel.
Lawrence is dead and we are not. We are your children. You owe an obligation to help.
I don't owe you anything.
Well, to love us then.
Mother, we only want you to make the right decision for yourself.
You want me to do what you want me to do. Well, I'll sell the paintings when I choose.
Just the sketches, then. Have you seen them? Ma, did Lawrence sell them?
Thank you for clearing out the attic.
You really went too far this time, Noel.
Oh, don't make me feel like a criminal. You're as bad as she is.
What?
I need the money. So do you.
Yes, but that's no excuse to go sneaking behind that bar.
Oh, stop being so noble. At the end of the day, it comes down to cold cash, right? She has it. We need it.
Yes, but there's such a thing as subtlety.
Choose a side, Nancy. Stop sitting on a ruddy fence.
Hello. I have an appointment with Mr. Bruckner. Penelope Keeling.
Yes, he's expecting you.
Good.
Penelope.
Oh, Roy, how are you?
It's been a long time.
Well, I've been rather reclusive in the country.
I was a student of her father's when I first met this woman, Miss Ling. My libido was in its prime, and I hadn't the least idea what to do with it. Let me take this.
Thank you.
And how are the children? I haven't seen them in years.
Oh, they're doing quite well. And so are you, Roy.
Well, Lawrence always said I'd make a better dealer than a painter. As usual, he was right. Sophie?
Mm-hmm. It was the last he did of her before she died. Could never bring himself to put it on canvas.
Where did these come from?
Well, I've had them for years. They were hidden in the back of my wardrobe. I'd quite forgotten that I had them.
Hidden?
Well, I didn't want Ambrose to find them. I mean, his gambling got so bad, he was selling everything that he could lay his hands on.
I have no idea what you saw in that man. You were mother and father to your children. Admit it.
Yes, well, we all managed somehow. Now, what do you think that I could get for these?
5,000 apiece.
How soon?
6 months. We'll auction them in New York.
Ah. Roy, I need some money now. I'm going to make a journey. I'm going back. I don't know why, but I simply must.
How much do you need?
1,000 or so.
I wish I could talk you out of selling. They'll be worth more in a year.
No, I've made up my mind. Thank you.
Are most men like you, Dana?
What's that supposed to mean?
Hard-working, quiet, so single-minded.
Some. Most are better.
You see, you're the first man I've really spent time with. Other than my father, I mean. Are your parents still alive?
Yes.
Don't you get on?
Average, I suppose.
Why don't you drive? Was it an accident or something?
And most girls, do they ask as many personal questions as you do?
Some. Most ask more.
I never learned to drive. No reason in particular.
Olivia? Mama. Hello, my dear. How are you? I finished my meeting with Roy Bruckner, you know, insurance on the paintings and such. And so I thought I'd come along, but if you're too busy...
No, come in, please.
Roy sent his love to you, incidentally.
Oh, yes. How is he?
Oh, as always, a dear friend.
Would you like some tea? I'll finish this presently and then we go out to lunch.
No tea, thanks. Isn't this an interesting office?
Yes, it's a mess at the moment. We're approaching deadline. You all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
And Antonia, she's happy?
Yes, I think she is. She spends a lot of time in the garden.
Didn't know she liked gardening.
Well, she doesn't really, but she does like the gardener. Olivia, I wanted to ask you a favor.
Nothing, Mama.
I'm going to Cornwall. Carn Cottage, Papa Studio, all of it. Could you get away and come with me?
When?
Well, right away.
Oh, Mama, no, I couldn't. The issue's due by the 15th. I'd be in trouble if I...
Yes, of course. I just thought perhaps you...
I could come in the autumn.
No, I want to go now. Well, perhaps Noel could go with me. If he drove, I'd be there in 3/4 of an hour.
Mama, I'm sorry.
Don't be. No regrets. Remember. No?
Hello, Penelope.
Dolly, what are you doing here? Where's Noel?
He's picking up the car in the garage. I'm taking him out to an early dinner. What are you doing here? He didn't invite you too, did he?
No,
Your children keep inviting both of us to the same functions.
No, I just happened to be in town and
He called me here for a financial discussion. He says you refuse to sell the paintings. Well, I only hope you know what you're doing.
Dolly, I'm not here to discuss my finances.
No,
I'm
you've
here.
never really discussed them with me in your life, have you? It's none of my affair. It's just that I feel I'm continually expected to bail Nancy and Noel out of their financial difficulties whenever their mother...
You're not expected to do anything of the sort.
Well, somebody has to. They're helpless, my dear.
But they're perfectly capable of looking after their own finances.
Penelope. I cast no aspersions. I'm simply saying that in their upbringing, you never taught them discipline and responsibility. If it hadn't been for me, heaven...
Dolly, that's enough. I simply can't sit here and listen to this. What I thought was important is what I was brought up with, and that is what I gave my children. Not money, love. I loved them. I still do.
Oh, really?
And I won't stand for
Penelope, you were always the most irresponsible woman I have ever known. For heaven's sake. You didn't even come to your own husband's funeral.
Oh, that's past history. I'm not interested in
No,
discussing.
it's not past. It's never past. Look at your children. If they're unhappy, it's because of the selfish bohemian way you raised them.
Darling!
Not to mention the thoughtless way you treated their father. I never thought you worthy of Ambrose, and you proved me right, didn't you?
I loved him.
You scarcely knew him.
That was the war, Dolly, not me. We met in the war. We married in the war. That was Ambrose, missing in France. Me, living alone all those years in Cornwall. And after the war, after he came back, it was you, never leaving us alone, that led to his debts and his drunkenness.
It was your indifference made you that way.
It was your constant interference. I simply put up with what you had created. Dolly, I tried to be friends with you. After Sophie died, I needed a mother, but you never approved of me.
Why should I approve of you? Ambrose was meant for better than you. He might as well have thrown his future in the river as marry you.
It was his choice to marry me.
And as for his poor children...
You stole his children away from me the moment that you had the chance. Showering them with gifts. That's your sort of love.
I never gave them anything.
If my children are poor, it's only because of the empty money you used to win them over.
Penelope.
It's a wonder you haven't learned from the mess you made of their father.
Why didn't you stop it?
Because my children are not my possessions. They must do what they want. See whom they want to see. Make their own mistakes.
And they've made plenty, haven't they? That's not mothering. That's neglect. It's more of your bohemian independence.
I never neglected them.
Yes, you did. Your own parents' reckless way of living. That's what makes you so irresponsible.
My parents love me, and I won't listen to you saying another word
That's what
against
drove
them.
Ambrose away, you know.
Is that what you think? Didn't he ever tell you why?
Oh, my dear, he didn't need to tell me. It was perfectly clear.
It wasn't me, Dolly. It was Noel.
Noel?
I was pregnant with him, and the last thing that Ambrose wanted was another child. So what does he do? He runs home to Mum, leaving me alone to do what I've been doing all along, raising his children without him. Now, look at the boy. He's becoming like his father, empty, shallow, wallowing in the same self-centered shallowness that killed Ambrose. And that's your doing, not mine. But love can't hold out against the likes of you. No. No.
Are you all right?
Yes. It's just bad dreams.
What about?
My mother and me. She had something, some feeling for life, a gift for mothering. But she died before she could pass on the secret to me. I'm 63 years old, Antonia, and my children are grown, and I'm still searching. Would you like to come with me to Cornwall? I've asked the others, and they're all too busy.
I'd love to.
Dana's too. I want you both.
I'm not sure if he will. He's so private. You get so far with him and it's like a gate slamming in your face.
Well, we can ask him. He can only say no.
I don't drive.
Penelope and I will do the driving.
We'd like your company, that's all.
It's just for the weekend. We'll have you back by Monday.
I'll think about it.
Why do you have to have such a chip on your shoulder about everything? Hasn't it occurred to you that she actually wants you on this trip? Do it for her.
You're going, aren't you? That's enough.
She asked us both.
My goodness. I know, of course, it's changed a lot, but in many ways it hasn't. I mean, looking at it from up here, it could be half a century ago. I've come here so often in my dreams. I can't believe it's real. Same buildings, the same streets. Somewhere inside, I still feel like a little girl.
Terribly extravagant.
Yes, it was meant to be.
Hello. Lawrence is out for a walk. I said I'd stay here.
Where's Nancy?
Asleep in the cottage. She's fine. I just looked in on her. I've got my orders.
How long?
3 weeks.
Where?
I can't say.
I hate this war. I want it to end. I would have thought it would touch us here. They said we were so safe, and then Sophie... Now you're going too. I wish it would leave me something. Do you hate me for saying that?
I don't hate you.
I'm sorry. Pen.
Hello, Pen.
Richard?
I never dreamed I'd find you here.
I don't believe it. I simply don't believe it.
Me neither. But you haven't changed.
Oh, of course I have. And then what did you do after you left the service?
Well, after the war, I met someone. Went into my father's business and made a life. Uneventful sort of stuff. And you? Still with your husband?
No.
And how about little Nancy? I'll bet you're a grandmother by now.
Twice.
Why did you come back, Pen?
I don't know. To find something that I once had. And since lost, something elemental, something that I still have, but I can't remember where I put it. You know, I'm almost twice as old as Sophie when she died. I could be her mother now. Isn't it astonishing? And you?
I retired. My son thought it'd be a good idea for me to have a vacation. A group of us old soldiers came back, looking for memories. But for me, not so much sights, but I felt so much here. I came back to remember the feelings.
What went wrong, Richard? What became of my life and the babies that I bore and loved? I can bear anything for myself, but to see my children so lost is unendurable.
It's not your fault.
Isn't it? I woke up in that hospital bed and I thought, I can't leave them like this. They're so miserable. I mean, there were times in my life, well, with Sophie and with Laura's and you, when everything was so bright. But my children, they had none of that joy in their lives. Sophie had it, and Lawrence too. Why is it that I can't pass it on to them?
Or perhaps it's not something you can pass on.
But why not? Why is it that all I have to pass on to them are these? I mean, look at these. Ambrose and me, never really together. Sophie, gone before her time, leaving my life so empty. Their lives, empty too. I was no Sophie to them. Nothing very precious or valuable here. I dreamed of the exotic. And all I'm left with is the common collection of the seaside tourist. And that is what I have given my children.
You could have given them us.
No, it wasn't possible.
It was your choice, not mine.
No, it never could have been possible. I only had Nancy then. Dolly would have taken her away from me. It was never an option for me to give her up for you. We met in such difficult times, Richard. The war, deprivation. Life was a day-to-day circumstances. We had so little choice. But my children grew up in relative abundance, and yet the choices that they made have brought them nothing but misery. I love them so much, and everything that I have done has been for them. And yet now it seems that none of us has anything.
They're grown now. Let them go.
It's not what they want.
Well, forget what they want. The greatest gift you could give them is your own happiness. You know something? Coming back, I've been struck by the peace and the color. The gold of the sand, the green grass, the sea's blue. I feel a bit like Lawrence. And you know, what was so remarkable about Lawrence was that he took responsibility for his own life. He surrounded himself with his colors, his work, and the people he loved. He was free, Pen, because the choices he made were happy ones for himself. That was his art. And I'd forgotten how much I loved you.
Past tense. It's all in the past today. Sophie, the war, you.
But you can't stop us, can you? We're like the sea. We just keep roaring on, don't we?
Hello, my darling. I'm sorry I kept you so long. I met a friend. Did you have a nice day?
We wandered around the village, Danis and I. It's beautiful here.
And where is he?
Sulking. We had an argument. He's so sullen. It's as if he can't love anything. I told him that caring for him was like loving a block of ice.
May I join you?
Yes.
I used to sit here when I was a little girl, counting the boats coming in from the night's work, wondering which fish from which boat I was going to have for dinner. It's hard work, seeing into the future. What about you? You know, the garden that you've made for me is blooming so beautifully. Do you hope to work for yourself someday?
That's a dream, not a hope.
Well, what is your dream, then? I won't tell anyone.
A garden centre, my own. Good business, hard work.
A family?
I don't think so.
Why not? Tell me why not, Venus.
I have epilepsy. I've been hospitalized. My family thinks it's some mental disease. I take medicine, but it's not a cure. Can't drive. I'm still afraid to have children, although I know it's not inherited. My greatest fear is to be lost in the arms of the woman I love. My mother's ashamed of me. My father also. And in spite of all my scientific understanding of it, I'm ashamed of it too.
Antonia isn't ashamed of it. She loves you, Danis. Don't turn away from somebody who loves you so unconditionally. Don't deny yourself the possibility of happiness. You deserve it. We all do.
I don't expect you to love me. I don't expect anyone to love me knowing this. I mean, you might say you love me now. Wait till you see me when it happens. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to love you. It's been so long. I don't know how to love anyone.
Dana?
Hello. Is it true? Oh, congratulations. I can't wait to meet him.
Where's Ma?
She'll be down in a minute. Would you like any tea or coffee or anything?
No, we'll be fine.
I'll be off then.
Hello, Nancy. George. Oh, what's wrong? You look as though you're at a funeral. Where's the body?
There is none.
What?
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Hello, George.
No, Bear. Where is it, Ma?
I think you'd better sit down, Noel.
Did you sell it? How much did you get?
No, I didn't sell it.
It hasn't been stolen, has it?
No.
And what then?
I've given it away.
Oh, good Lord.
How could you?
You must be joking.
To whom?
To a gallery in St. Ives.
And what in heaven's name induced you to do such a thing? Do you know what that picture's worth?
Well, I know what it's worth to me. I mean, you've all lived with it for years and scarcely looked at it.
You told us you couldn't live without it.
Yes, and now I want to share it.
Completely out of her mind.
You seem to forget, George, that the painting was mine. I mean, it wasn't yours. It never belonged to you.
You can't afford it, Mother. You've little enough as it is.
I promised the panels to a private collector. Oh, 300,000. And the sketches will go on sale in January.
The sketches? You mean you knew about them all along?
Well, I hadn't thought about them for years. I'd been hiding them from your father.
And what about us? What about your family, your grandchildren? How can you stand there and happily give away their inheritance when you know very well that it's the only thing that we're
But you can have the money. I'll take what I need from the panels. The rest is yours. All three of you, divide it as you wish.
Mother.
But I don't want to be treated as an invalid anymore. If I fall down the stairs and land in a heap for weeks, that's my business. It's not yours.
We only worry about you because we love you.
What I've done, you've been urging me to do for months. So I spent a little money on myself and returned to Cornwall. Is that what's bothering you? I invited you all.
Oh, good reasons, Mama.
Excuses. But I think it's just as well that you didn't come. Because I learned something. I may not have been the best wife or the best mother, but I gave you all that I had to give. And now it's my turn to make my own decisions, to live my life as I see fit. I know all of your virtues and your shortcomings, and I love you all very much, but I'm not responsible for you anymore. Well, I thought we might have some lunch.
What about the sketches? Who gets the money from those?
I'm giving it to Antonia.
Oh.
Mother, she's not even one of the family.
Well, she is to me. And if I can get her and Danis on their feet, well, that's the
She
very
wants to
least.
squander every penny on any stray dog that comes along.
Don't be condescending to me, George. For the very first time in my life, I've experienced the joy of giving to someone other than my children. And it's made all the sweeter because of the grace and gratitude with which it has been received.
Oh, and that's what you want from us, is it? Endless thanks.
I want you to take your money and be happy. I wish the very best for you, Noel. But what you do with my love is as much up to you as what you do with my money. You have so much going for you. Why do you always want more?
I only want what I deserve.
You want what your father wanted. And if I seem wary of you and your schemes, it's only because I lived through it all with him.
And that's why you dislike me so much.
I don't dislike you. I love
Well,
you.
you have
You're
an
my
odd way of showing it. I am not my father. My life has very little to do with him or you.
You always succeeded in making me feel that I'd failed you.
I think you have. Well, I'll see you later, Nancy, George. Would you like a lift, Olivia?
No, I'll take the train tomorrow.
Noel, please.
Bye, Ma.
Nancy, I think we'd best be going too. I think you're foolish, Penelope, to say the least.
Likewise, George.
Nancy, I'll be waiting in the car.
I think you're terrible.
No, she's not. She's generous to a fault, and as far as I'm concerned, we should be more than content with what she's given us.
It's easy for you to defend her. She's always loved you.
Oh, don't start that again, Nancy.
She never tries to understand me.
Perhaps because you never try to understand anyone else.
She's always had time for you. She's never given me anything.
She gave us all a magic childhood and a terrific start in life. You can't blame her for your life, Nancy. That isn't her fault. You did that to yourself.
Who are you to say that to me? The beautiful, perfect Olivia, perfect life, perfect looks. You've never had to make a difficult decision in your life.
You think I'm so different from you. You think my life's so perfect. You think that I don't want a husband and family too, You were the perfect one growing up. You were the pretty one, Dolly's favourite. I had to work for what I have. So I made different choices than you, and some of them were right and some were wrong, but they were my choices, and at least I don't blame them on my mother.
Olivia, that's enough. Nancy's right. She has good reason for feeling about me the way she does. I wasn't the best mother to you at first. I was very young, and I tried to cope in the very best way that I knew how, but it wasn't enough, and I'm very sorry. But you know, Nancy, there was a time when you and I were alone together.
Never that.
Remember? Playing on the sand all day, sleeping together at night. We'd walk out at dusk and we'd watch the waves crashing against the rocks below. Your grandfather was there. And there was another man. He used to take you down to the sea on his shoulders.
Daddy?
No. His name was Richard. Remember? He used to give you chocolate out of his rations.
Sandcastles. You used to build sandcastles.
We were very happy together then. I let him go. I gave him up for you because I loved you, my darling. I still do.
Nervous?
Yes. No. I don't know.
Danis is petrified. When he saw me this morning, he turned wedding white.
I'm so happy George agreed to give me away.
There. You look beautiful. Except for one thing. They belong with a bride. I love you, my darling. My daughter.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here in the sight of God and in the face of this congregation to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony, which is an honorable estate instituted of God himself, signifying unto us the mystical union that is between Christ and his church, which holy estate Christ adorned and beautified with his presence, and first miracle that he wrought in Cana of Galilee, and is commended in Holy Writ to be honorable among all men.